Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Symphony. Symphony Entertainment, Gaming, and Arts is my gaming company that focuses on horror systems, indie games, organic content, and player agency to bring a symphonic approach to horror role-playing. Tonight, we are playing, y'all forgive my book because there's a whole lot of sticky notes and things have on it right now, but we are playing Moonlight on Roseville Beach, which is the Emmy Award-winning queer game of disco and cosmic horror written by the absolutely fabulous Richard Ruan. Our story is going to begin on Rose Island, which is a queer normative community, fall of 1979. Now, I am going to indicate the game is starting fall of 1979, not summer, like the book suggests. But we're going to discuss a little bit more about the fluidity of the mechanics of the narrative when you're working with Moonlight on Roseville Beach. So this is a game about amateur sleuths and monster hunters who keep their bustling queer community beach town safe, all while holding down real jobs, taking care of their friends, and escaping their own demons, and maybe even falling in love. Moonlight on Roseville Beach is sandboxy in a way, at least that I have discovered and explored, that really encourages a freedom of movement when it comes to the world and the mechanics. And you will see this when some of our players start enacting some of their abilities or their powers, exactly how open to interpretation it really is. It provides so much freedom of exploration, and I'm really excited to run it. This is going to be my very first time running this game. So I'm super excited to jump in, especially with this particular cast, because Pride of 2023, this same cast assembled with GM and creator Richard Ruan to tell a very lighthearted story of mystery, drag, and fun. So we played this game a year ago. There were butt plug jokes. We clapped our fans. We fell in love. We had some really great lessons. It was lighthearted. It was fun. It was uplifting. And we really, really enjoyed the mystery. You can actually see that right now on Symphony's YouTube if you want to check out this cast again a year ago. So tonight, we're back. Different GM, me, new vibe, and we're going to explore a different style of storytelling that Moonlight on Roseville Beach actually offers. So we are going to double down on the cosmic horror and the exploration of our own personal demons. Mind the content warnings that are listed in the YouTube write-up or into the Twitch, something that you may or may not be seeing. Couple notes, we are not going to be addressing character creation nor the mechanics. One, they're super intuitive and they're all narrative based. So really, we have too much story to tell to actually dive into that, but maybe we'll do a YouTube video for backers or release it if you really want to see somebody walk through those mechanics. So, you guys know this next line. Content warnings have been discussed with the cast and crew. Cast and crew understands that the X card is in play. X's can be shown into the Zoom chat or done visibly. We will also be using the red, yellow, green traffic light method, which is my personal favorite safety tool. A color check can be called by the GM or any player at any time. Once the color check is called, everything stops. Audibly, you have to respond back to me with a color. Green, you're good to go. Let's rock and roll. Yellow, you can tolerate it, but you don't like it, which to me is a red. Red is a hard stop. We don't look back. We move on with our day. Safe environments make for better stories. If we protect each other, we will go places that we didn't know that we could go. We're going to go to the unimaginable. So, any safety tool that's activated, no judgment pass, no questions asked. So, viewer, welcome back to Roseville Beach. Cast, let's get you guys introduced. We are going to start off with Perry. Perry, tell us who you are, what you do, where people can find you.
Hello, I'm Perry Clark, licensed marriage and family therapist. Most of the time, you can find me in my office doing mental health work with my various clients, including LGBT as well as POC clients, as well as also on my podcast, Untying Knots, Minds and Souls Untethered, which is how Bridgett and I met, and I became a part of all of this.
Yeah.
As well as here on Symphony, occasionally I get the chance to step away from the clients in the podcast and be a player.
Perry, thank you for coming back. Thank you for your trust in being here. Thank you for all of this amazing energy that I already know that you're going to bring. And just thank you for returning. We appreciate it. Oh, next, Chad, hit us, baby. Tell us who you are, where people can find you, and some of the things that you do.
Indeed. I am Charles Gerard, but I am widely known as Chad, writer and journalist based in New York City. I've had work published with Sentinel Hill Press, Cubicle 7, Golden Goblin Press, Darker Hue Studios, and Onyx Path.
Hey.
So far. From 2012 to 2019, I was co-host of the Miskatonic University podcast as Keeper Chat.
Amazing. Chat, baby, let's do it again. I'm super excited. And then last but certainly not least, the love of my life, my spouse, Rina. Hit us, baby. Tell us who you are, what you do, and where people can find your deliciousness.
Hey, everyone. I'm Rina. My pronouns are they, them, and I am a writer and an editor. I mostly write for Call of Cthulhu and Cthulhu Dark, and all of my scenarios can be found on DriveThruRPG, including the gold bestseller, Saturday the 14th. I've got new scenarios coming up soon, so keep an eye out for that. But I'm a fairly prolific writer and editor and all sorts of things to do with words. You can find me on the Old Ways podcast, where head of Mythos Horror. I handle all things Cthulhu, Cthulhu Dark, etc., etc. And you can also find me on our main campaign for Coriolis over there.
Whoop, whoop.
And you can find me along with Bridgett on Ain't Slayed Nobody in the Down Darker Trails main campaign. It's a lot of fun and a lot of shenanigans. And you can find me on a lot of other shows popping up here and there, such as the Miskatonic Playhouse, RX Oliver here on Symphony, and a bunch of other places, including How We Roll. And yeah, I'm known in a lot of places as the Inevitable Rina, because anywhere you go, there I am.
There you are. Really, baby, you're everywhere that I want to be. Rina, oh, I love you. And I'm super excited that you guys are back. I understand what this means to you guys as individuals, and you guys as individuals know what this means to me. So thank you, thank you, thank you. One last massive thank you. This entire production is being made available because Richard Ruan took a chance on the Symphony, and he included Symphony Entertainment as a stretch goal in his most recent Kickstarter that funded for Moonlight on Roseville Beach, which means he put an actual play as a stretch goal and then paid Symphony out for the stretch goal. So in a community right now where we do so much of investing and pouring our creativity and our time and our resources into actual plays and productions and games, and a lot of time we don't see any benefit from this, every cast member here is getting paid because Richard Ruan made a decision to support Symphony, my small business, which empowered me to be able to pay everybody here that's on this stream and the absolutely delicious V from Queen Court's game that is actually doing all the editing. So all these transitions and the music and the overlays. Let me tell you right now, we are looking at green screens. That is it. I'm on a Zoom recording with green screens. That's it. That's all Bridgett did. Everything else that you see, all the magic that you are experiencing, all of the transitions, all of that is V. That is V. That is V. That is V. So V, in advance, thank you. Thank you. Thank you for making us look good, because you make yourself and your people look good all the time, baby. I'm just so glad that you're willing to come over and do the same for us. So V, thank you. Richard Ruan, thank you. And to every single backer that supported that Kickstarter, we are here because you invested your time and your money into this. Thank you. We genuinely appreciate you. We wouldn't be here without you. So let's get this party started. Too Much Heaven by the Bee Gees is playing everywhere. You can't escape it. It's on every radio. It's on every television, every lip. You can't escape it. But then again, it's too much heaven. Why would you want to? The three of you have come a very long way, a very unapologetically long way through torrential rains, massive downpours, and critical winds. This journey has been everything except for pleasurable. This has been hard travel. You're so close to your destination, and you didn't know it was possible for your bones to feel wet, but you guys are soaked. This weather has almost been criminal. But Rose Island, it's September, hurricane season, and Rose Island is nestled in the mid-Atlantic. And what do we know about Rose Island? Well, we know that Roseville Beach, one of the towns on Rose Island, is a queer normative place. That's what they're saying, right? That's what the brochures say. That's what you saw in the news once. And what was that ad? We're here, we're queer, why aren't you? It didn't rhyme. It was catchy. It sticks with you. It's one of those things. Sorry, I'm getting so distracted. We're talking about where you're going. You haven't even gotten there yet. Let's talk about these challenges that you've had along the way. They say nothing worth having is easy. Well, you're damn sure whatever Rose Island offers you, it has to be worth everything, because this has not been easy going. At times, this journey has felt impossible. There's something about the skies, guys. There's something about the rain. Everything just feels darker, angrier. And you don't know why you know this, but there's this sensation of grief that is just hanging on the winds. I am so sorry. I keep toggling between where we are and where you're going. Let's go back to even before that. You three took the leap. You made the fall. You decided to work and live on Roseville Beach. Over the past, I don't know, what has it been, 2 to 6 weeks, you've each individually been in contact with a woman by the name of Annie Kai. Annie K-I, or K-A-I. And I say the three of you individually have been in touch with Annie Kai because you three don't know each other, right? No, you haven't met. You're aware of each other. Maybe you've exchanged a few letters in the mail. Maybe you were lucky enough to catch one of the other ones on a phone call. You guys don't know each other. You've never met. You've never seen each other's faces. But you three are all going to be housemates and roommates in a bungalow. That's kind of weird, right? It's scary. What if you don't like your housemates? Like, what if one isn't clean? What if one snores? What if one can't pull their rent? What if you just don't like them? Those are common feelings, especially when you're going to be cohabitating with strangers. But it's strange, though. There's something about the way that Annie has introduced the three of you, at least conceptually, over the phone or in letter. You feel like everything might be okay. Maybe that's just Annie. She does have that aura about her, right? There's something safe about her. Something right. I'm really sorry. I continue toggling back and forth, and I really need to stay on track. You guys are coordinated with Annie. She is a facilitator on the island. She advertises herself as a one-stop shop for onboarding. You go through her, and for a fee that you all paid handsomely for, she handles getting you to the island. She sets up your housing. She organizes your roommates. She guarantees you a job, tools to integrate into the community. She even set up your utilities for you. If she's as good as what she says she is, this should be a pretty smooth transition if the rains will ever let up. She gave you all clear instructions. When you arrive to Rose Island, because you have to take a ferry to get there, you need to walk to a bar called Tops with an exclamation point. She'll meet you there between 2 and 4 p.m. and she'll be able to get you your keys, get you guys introduced to each other, and then you'll be able to walk to your bungalow. She specified walk to your bungalow because there are no cars on Rose Island, which, given the weather outside, that's not going to be a fun walk. I hope your luggage or your crates have wheels. We'll see. You guys are almost there. So, let's jump in with some character introductions. I am going to start with Daniel. That feels fun for me. Daniel, you are on the docks. You're waiting for the ferry to arrive. What time was that ferry? The 9 a.m. ferry. You were waiting for the 9 a.m. ferry to arrive back from Rose Island to the pier where you are, and it's going to take you on the 40-minute journey over to the island. It might be a little bit longer given the weather. You're standing in one of those outdoor pavilion areas, and you're already soaking wet, and you're the only person here. You're actually the only person on this entire boardwalk. But it's the 9 a.m. ferry. That's what you booked. That's what you agreed to with Annie. That's going to be the first one that you're going to see. I have some questions for you, Daniel. Where did you come from to be here? Next question, and I'll remind you of these. Where did you sleep last night? And the third question is, why does the rain feel so cold to you?
Well, I came from Boston today, And or actually last night. Actually, it has been a 22-hour trip because something happened at South Station in Boston where I had to stay there for 14 hours waiting for the next bus. Something about the weather I didn't really understand, but I made the best of it. And where did I sleep? I slept right there at the bus station, right at the gate, because I wasn't sure if like maybe a bus would show up, you know. And so it feels like my teeth have sweaters on them right now.
Oof.
And I am tired, maybe even a little bit hallucinating. Am I seeing rain or is it brain static? I don't know. I'm cold because I've always been cold, even at the slightest turn of weather, which is why I've layered up and I've taken everything out of my bag and I'm wearing it. And it's my least favorite sensation. Clammy and cold, and you know, my fingers are like pruny just from the air, from the moisture of it.
Yeah.
My feet feel like they're kind of like sloughing off. It's awful. And I am ready for some sun. So
that's what they promised, right? There was supposed to be sun.
Exactly.
I'm hoping beaches and warmth.
Exactly. I'm thinking that once I get into the boat that I feel like I can see a cloud bank that we can get past on the boat. Yeah. So I have a lot of hope.
Okay.
As I look into the horizon.
Okay. It was a 22-hour trip, and I think you told me you spent 12 of those hours in that bus station in Boston. It's kind of tough relocating by bus, right? I mean, everything that you have is with you. You know, it's kind of hard to go to the bathroom when you have your things with you and somebody's going to steal it. What are you going to do? But, 12 hours is just a long time. You're exhausted. I loved your word choice about whether is it rain or is it static. Things are blending together. When you were in the restroom in Boston and you were either brushing your teeth or you were rinsing your mouth off or you're just splashing water on your face to try to just correct whatever misery this is on like one of the biggest moments of your life, what do we see looking back at us in the mirror?
Well, at the moment, you see a disheveled, but somewhat put together as best I can. My trade, my profession is I'm a palmister. I read palms on the boardwalk. And so, that's kind of my vocation. And I dress the part. I dress the part always because sometimes there's someone somewhere who needs a little help. And so I might offer a reading or perhaps some salves or various things that I have in my lots of luggage. So you see a bohemian, but I like to call my style elevated bohemian.
Elevated bohemian, me, wow, yes.
A little bit class, but a little bit, a little bit bus station. So. Okay.
Yep. Oh, I love that. Okay. My very last question for you here, Daniel. Verify Daniel's pronouns for me.
He, him.
And then, Daniel, that's what you saw, what we saw when you left that mirror on hour 8 of the 12 that you were stuck in the bus stop. And you were sleeping at the gate. And of course, the radio is playing the Bee Gees. And at this point, you're like, maybe that uplifts you. Or at this point, maybe you're just like, I don't know about how much heaven I'm actually experiencing right now because this feels like a wet hell. But you're laying on that metal cast iron bench where hundreds, thousands of people have slept, sat, cried, mourned, celebrated. Just an overwhelming smorgasbords of emotions are just saturated into this bench, and you're a little bit more aware of these things than I'm not going to say that you should be, because that's not fair and that's not true to you. You're a little bit more aware of these things than most people are, and you rest your head on your backpack or your duffel bag, and you pull your knees up, and you can hear the rain. It's mixing with static. You're grappling with feelings of loneliness and anticipation. You're absorbing so many of the emotions on this bench, and things start getting very loud. That static feels a little bit more tangible. It feels like something that's like cutting through your gums. It feels like something that's embedding itself underneath your nails. And it's just this moment where you have to ground yourself. And one of the easiest ways for you to ground yourself is to think back, way back, or was it so far away? It's hard to tell with the way time moves. But you think back into your childhood to a friend that you had. I say had. That's probably accurate. An imaginary friend that only you could see. This entity, this person, this creature, this friend is always a point of grounding for you. When you're curled up on that bench and everything seems too loud at once, who do you see that helps bring you back to that moment where it's okay? Everything's going to be all right.
I see Boris, my friend from when I first had a fever. I have a memory that stretches way back. It goes to when I was 3 years old and I had my first fever. And I remember, though no one believes me, seeing Boris, the spider, come down from the ceiling tiles. And I remember that Boris helped me through the fever by sending me little Boris dots, little red Boris dots to help heal my heart. And the Boris dots were playing there in the static as my fever made my vision kind of fading in and out. So Boris and his fever dots are with me whenever I have a feeling of home.
Ooh. I'm writing that one down. With you when you have feelings of home. We are going to go talk to Biza Cozy at the moment. Biza?
Yes.
This is move-in day. Finally, it's here. Now, you and I both know that you're coming for different reasons, which may or may not be explored, but this is move-in day. Whereas Daniel was on the 9 a.m. ferry, you are on the noon ferry. You are physically on the ferry right now. There is a captain that obviously hates their job and would rather be doing anything than what you're doing right now at this moment, especially given the weather. The water is tossing this little boat around like it's nothing. You know in your heart that it's not safe to be out here, but the captain is pushing on. That boat was leaving at noon. You had a choice. You could stay there on the pier or you could get on with your life. And for reasons that you and I both know, you couldn't stay on that pier for very long. So you're on the boat.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay to the center of the craft. It's perhaps the most stable. Oh, this is as bad as when we went to Catalina.
It's
if not
tough.
worse.
It's tough. The winds are cascading down in sheets. You can hear the captain calling something to you and the other passengers. There's just a single other set of passengers, two women that, just given their demeanor, it looks like they are brand new madly in love. Like, that early stage of romance where you can't keep your hands off each other and just every glance into your lover's eyes is the longest glance of all time. They're not having that moment now. They were having it on the pier before they got on this boat. Right now, they are clutching to each other as a briefcase just goes sliding by you. A trunk goes sliding by the other side. The trunk crashes, opens, spills out your contents.
Oh, fuck.
What do we see?
Force myself to
And then real fast,
get up
just as
and
a
get
content warning, we have vomiting and vomiting noises as a red line.
Yeah, and I'm just trying to steel myself as I get off my seat to try and get to the case as I'm trying to keep lunch down to get my stuff as it's sliding away from me.
What just rolled by on your right-hand side?
It was a baseball.
A baseball just rolled by on your right side. What just jumped over you on your left-hand side? That one might be going over the edge. I don't know if you're ever going to see that one again.
That was my record, my tape player.
Ouch. Oh, the crash, the wind, and if the wind were a gaping maw that just reached up and took that tape player over the side, you know that you're never going to see that tape player again. What is something embarrassing that Julie, one of these women, is already on her hands and knees doing her best to scramble and grab things? What does she put her hand on or in to hand to you that she doesn't even aware that she touched it until she has? That's embarrassing to you.
My teddy bear.
Your saturated teddy bear. She just reaches her hands into it and she hands it to you, and she just gives you this smile. And you're looking in Julie's eyes. You guys had a brief moment of introduction before you got on. You're looking into her eyes and she's looking in yours. And there's just this lack of recognition that she's even holding a teddy bear. She's so worried about just trying to collect your stuff that it doesn't look like she's putting together that you have a teddy bear. It doesn't look like she's associating it with you or a childhood item or even whether you're gifting this. She just doesn't care. She's just on her hands and knees right now, trying to help you. As the camera kind of pans back, what do we see physically of Biza as he's on the ground? What does he look like? Give us this description of Biza.
So, Biza's about 24. General athletic build. It's not like he's really out there to do sports, but he stays just generally physically active. He's right now got the what we'll call his 1970s porn stash.
Yeah.
And he's an African American male. His fro is on its way going to get larger. It's still very conservative at this point, close as it is. He is dressed in sort of a. He's got a heavy jacket on because again he's from the West Coast. He's from LA. This East Coast weather is something that's totally different. So he's got this heavy coat that he picked up secondhand. Underneath, you can see there's more of a more softer flowing dashiki that is under that.
Okay. Oh, beautiful. Great description work there, Perry. Perfect. Just a handful of follow-up questions here, especially as your stomach is turning inside out and upside down. What did you eat for breakfast this morning?
It was mostly cereal with banana. Cornflakes.
Bananas. Cornflake. I like that. Okay. Remember that gaping maw of the wind that took your tape player? That's never coming back. That's an investment that's completely gone. Actually, was that an investment or was that a gift?
That was a gift.
From whom?
From my grandmother. She just, despite everything that was going on, she knew that I wanted, and this was one of those first generation Walkmans.
Oh.
And I know she had scrimped and saved to get that for me. I was just surprised she was able to get it from the Sears Roebuck catalog at that time.
Ooh. That does hurt. That hurts. It tees up beautifully into my next question, which is, again, this particular table I love playing with because we feed off of each other so well. You could be practically looking at my notes right now, Perry. The wind ate your tape player, and it played a song just as it did. What was the song that you heard when your tape player was consumed by the wind? What song is the wind screaming right now?
I'm laughing just because I'm trying to get the words out myself. Puff the magic dragon lived by the sea. And I can't remember the rest of it. Something about the Galileans.
Beautiful. That is beautiful. That's beautiful. Last question for you here, Biza Kosi. Julie, red hair plastered over the front of her face, is like shoving the teddy bear back at you right as she's like reaching for the baseball and trying to grab a pair of your shorts. And you take the teddy bear and it takes you immediately back to 21, maybe 18 years ago, somewhere nestled in your childhood. And you just have a thought, a memory, an experience. You have a retelling of someone that you loved at that age that was imaginary. It didn't exist. it was intimately known to you. Who do you think about when you connect with that teddy bear and you're just immediately taken back 20 something years ago?
I'm taken back to the memory of the day I got my bear. My bear's name is Coco.
Coco.
And I remember all the moments when I would sit with Coco and Dimba, the giraffe.
With a G? Gimba? Gimba?
Dimba, D.
Dimba. D is in Delta, right?
Yep.
Okay. Dimba the giraffe.
Giraffe. Mm-hmm. And he was a yellow and green giraffe. Green with yellow spots.
Dimba.
And at that point, the three of us would sit together and watch and try and catch and get there early enough for the noonday episode of Battlestar Galactica and watch that all together.
You, Coco, and Dimba.
Mm-hmm.
There's something about holding that teddy bear that Julie is giving you, and you think back to Dimba and Coco, and you're just like, maybe everything will be okay. This was the right call. You kind of feel comforted in that moment, right before just a cascade of water pours over the top of the rail, pushes you back, swash everything away, and you're wondering whether anything of this trunk of yours is going to be able to be salvageable other than the teddy bear that you have in your hand. Rhea Adrian. Now, I did something a little special for you, Rhea. And by I did something special for you, I mean I did nothing at all, because you and I both know that you have a much different relationship with atmosphere and weather of this particular nature. So I started Daniel off at the pier, getting ready to hop onto the ferry. I started Biza off on the ferry itself. I am going to ask you, Rhea, how are you and your belongings for moving day getting to Rose Island?
I don't actually have any belongings with me. I made my way from Virginia Beach up here by Amtrak and then hitchhiking for part of it. Spent the night in a motel, looking around, carefully watching, signed under the name Kelly Jones.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't really sleep very much, keeping an eye on the door, flinching at every noise. And then finally, when it was time in the morning, the earliest I could possibly manage, even in the rain and the cold, which doesn't bother me as much, perhaps, as it might bother other people, I swam.
Where do you emerge on Rose Island when you breach the surface of the water?
Swam around part of the island just to see if I could find a place where there weren't many people. The rain helps, actually, in this regard, because there's not a lot of people out on the beach or standing around, walking around. There's been a few people hurrying past, hands over their heads or carrying their coats up, keep the rain out. But I found a partially secluded cave that looked like it would be safe. A feeling I haven't had in quite some time. There were no people around. It didn't look like there would even be people running past. You'd have to move through the water a little bit to even get to this cave. And so I swam in there. And I felt it around me. It was just barely big enough for me to stand up in. But it felt close and comforting a little bit, even as the rain came sheeting in from the wind, blowing it in that direction.
Ria, when you emerge from those waters on that beach near that cave, that tiny cave that hugs you and reminds you that everything is okay, where you don't have to watch a door, where you have to listen for the sounds of his voice or any voices coming towards you at all, because no one in their right mind would be out here in this type of weather. You're built differently, though. You're okay. What do we see of Ria? What do we see of them as they emerge from the water?
I see a tall woman with curly blonde hair plastered close to her head. It is probably big and vivacious and curly when it's normal weather, but coming out of the water, and especially with the rain, it's very close and tight. You could barely tell it's blonde. It almost looks brown with how heavy the water is. Big blue eyes and wearing some kind of, it looks like a gray almost bodysuit.
Oh!
Very tightly plastered to the skin, covering everything. And the water just sort of shimmers off of it. It doesn't seem to absorb the water the way that normal clothes would.
That's a stunning description, Rena. Well done, babe. This is going to be our first roll of the game.
Ooh.
I know. Ria, I need you to make me a quick roll. So all I need from you is a single D6, please.
5.
Oh, beautiful. Quick roll. When a character makes a quick roll, choose the highest result amongst the dice. For me, this is things go well. So I'm going to give you more or less a free clue to whatever mystery might be unveiled as we begin our story on Roseville Beach. Swimming through the waters. For people who are polylingual, they can catch this very well. There's like your native language, and then there's the new languages that you're filtering in on top of it. Your brain automatically does a translation. But there are certain words that no matter how fast you're going, you immediately want to default to the one from your native tongue, and that slips out or gets combined, or there's some fun combobulation that happens with that. That's what you're experiencing when you're immersed in the water. It's a conversation between you and these thrashing waves that you're operating beneath pretty comfortably. But with a 5, and the tier was 5 or 6, I will give you this much. Yes, it's September in the Atlantic. Yes, it's hurricane season. Yes, tropical storms are a thing. Yes. That's what most people would acknowledge as what's happening. You know that there's something different. The weather, the environment, and specifically this body of water is carrying these current charges. Loss, grief, heavy levels of grief, anger, fear, and you're just able to finally get in tune with this last portion of what the waves, with the water, with the very salt that's embedded into the molecules of this water are trying to express to you. Or actually, they're not speaking to you as much as just expressing it out, just trying to get this charge off of it, which is causing everything that's happening. Something was taken from this ocean, something was taken from this body of water, and they want it back. And they're not going to stop until they get what was taken from them back. And even more from that, this atmosphere, these waters, they're going to escalate. And they're going to continue to escalate. And they will take as many lives as they have to until they get whatever was taken from them returned. And that's the best that you're able to kind of pull from whatever it is you're racking from the waters. When do you emerge from the cave? Your hug of rock.
Early afternoon. Probably sit for a few minutes, legs crossed. Even with the rain, even with the wind. Just enjoying just this moment of peace. Just for this moment, thinking, no one knows where I am. No one knows I'm here. This is just for me. Just in this moment. Just sitting for a little bit once I arrive, before I finally heavy sigh and make my way out of the cave towards the beach.
Okay. That heavy sigh is met with one final, almost like tap on the butt of encouragement or comfort. And just, you think for a brief moment about a time when you were alone, but you weren't really alone. But it was like the perfect shade of alone, because you weren't bothered by the outside world, but there was someone there that knew you, that saw you, that heard you, that understood you, that didn't judge you, and constantly had your back. Now, granted, this entity, this individual was imaginary, but it didn't make that experience any more real for you. Who was that for you? Who was that for Rhea?
This Cassie, the jellyfish. My mother was sick, and I didn't know what was wrong with her. I was little, very little. No one would tell me what was wrong, because who tells children? But I knew that something was wrong. I could feel it. I saw that she looked ill, and I was scared, and I went to the beach, and I sat in the edge of the water, just half submerged, and I felt little tendrils wrapping around my ankles and pulling me just slightly. I could feel it pulling me. And there was this jellyfish just floating in the water, shifting sort of opalescent colors in the water. She told me her name was Cassie, and that she would always be there. And that even if no one else would talk to me, she would. And I would always feel those tendrils in the water when I was little, wrapping around my arm, wrapping around my hair, just that nuzzle, sometimes from the cap up against my face. And I knew that I had someone safe who I knew wouldn't let me down and who wouldn't keep things from me.
Absolutely stunningly brilliant. Daniel, what's worse? Being super early for something or being late?
I do not like to be late, and I do like to be early if it gives me an opportunity to do a little watching from afar to get a sense of what's going on, or to be first on the scene and kind of take command.
Okay. Oh, I like this. Okay. So, you and your belongings have arrived on Rose Island. You are here. You have departed, and you have been told to meet. Now, mind you, this is like 9:40. It's 10 a.m. You are scheduled to meet this Annie Kai somewhere between 2 and 4. Torrential rain is coming down. The wind is screaming. No. Like, it's like homes are boarded up on the side. People are bracing for things. You're not seeing a lot of people outside. Where is the sun and the beach and the gorgeous men and the short? None of that is here. That is not your experience. Expectations are deadly like that sometimes. What do you do when you arrive? What's your first step here?
Well, so I'm being rained on. There's no shelter. Is there any shelter nearby?
Yeah, actually there is.
Oh, great.
There is. Hold on really fast, because this is actually I'm gonna make you build an NPC for me here in a second. Hold on. Let me see who this is. This is where? Hold on. I'm scrolling through my notes, damn it. Who's this? Okay, yeah, this is great. So right here on the docks, there's a couple things. This is like where the ferry will port that goes back and forth, and there's a couple other ferries here. But there's also kind of like a warehouse that is sitting here. It's all made of like just thrown together, well enough sheet metal. But you're getting the idea based on the cargo bays and the ramps. This is probably where they import a lot of their goods from. So food is coming in from the main line here. That's probably where they're shipping materials and things, because this is island life, right? You know, you got to get this shit back and forth at some point, and you don't have all of the luxuries that you would have on the mainland right now. So yes, there is a shelter because that warehouse is there. There's the office out front, and then the warehouse itself. And it looks like there is some type of worker that is bundled up in a massive raincoat that's bright yellow, hood pulled down, has the big rain boots on, and is currently pushing against the wind, against the rain, some type of a cart full of goods into the warehouse. So there's shelter close. There's that. And then everything else looks like it's a walk to get into town.
Oof. Okay, so I have a lot of bags because I travel heavy.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be shuttling my stuff into the warehouse, and I'm not real strong. Kind of a little bit scrawny. And so what I'm doing is trying to project as much pathetic energy as I can and pulling up right alongside. Did we get a name? Worker guy.
No, because you don't know the name.
I don't know the name.
You don't know the name. And if worker guy, you think it's a guy, it has a name tag on, it's buried under this massive yellow raincoat.
Okay. I just drama. I just throw all the drama that I can. Oh, it's heavy. Oh, there's so much in here. I'm so sorry. Is there any chance that I could get you to help me with a couple of my bags? I just have a few, and I look back, and there's an entire, it's like I've arrived, on Ellis Island with, in my entire family's belongings.
It's like, behold, I brought everything with me. Okay. This book does something really sexy. It gives me NPC attitudes where I don't have to come up with them, and I'm a big fan of that personally because I think it's funny. So.
I'll take strong attitude.
Strong, helpful, and very sympathetic to pitiful.
Helpful would be nice, but, give me all the personality.
Roll me a 2d6, please.
Oh, yes.
And then give me the sum.
Okay. The sum is 6.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to tee this up over to Rina. Rina, we're going to go with he, him. Tell me what this gentleman looks like.
Okay, this gentleman has big green eyes, but behind very thick glasses, like the really thick glasses that are covered with rain. And so when you start talking to him, he has to reach up his hand and kind of brush the water away from the glass so he can kind of see you, and he's peering at you from the rain speckled glasses. He's got a very cute little mouth, and what you would assume on a normal day would be rosy cheeks, but now they're just red from the rain and the wind nipping at him. And he looks at you and blinks again.
Wiping off, thank you so much, Rina. Wiping off water from the lens. He is politely disinterested, distracted with other concerns, or grudgingly helpful.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your help. I understand. I know it's raining. I know that maybe I can help you later on. Maybe we can trade. I do palm readings. I'm sure that maybe you have some trouble in your life. If you want to discuss that, it's, up to you. But it's what I do. And yes, could you? And I'll go back and get another one, okay?
Yeah. You just hear this sigh that's being cut off by sheets of rain. You hear him put the brake down on, whatever this trolley is. And just at this point, he's never spoken to you. He's never opened his mouth. But he just marches behind you grudgingly. And he picks up bags. And he marches it back and he just stacks them on top of the same trolley. And he goes back for the second round, following behind you. At this point, you don't know his name.
Yeah.
And he hasn't opened his mouth to you at all.
Yep. Effusive thanks. Effusive compliments. Oh my goodness, I can't believe you got it over that threshold. That's incredible. I try to peek at the name tag?
Yeah. No, you can get a peek at the name tag, and it says Peter.
Peter.
Peter, and you're barely catching this. Just one of those perfect moments while he's picking up like a trunk. That thin raincoat is just plastered across. You just, it's Peter.
Right.
Got it.
Right.
Unless he's wearing Peter's uniform.
Oh, right. I think, first of all, I turn around my back to Peter and I face the sky, and it's futile, but I try to just I've been able occasionally to bring winds that can help me out here and there. I've been able to move a cloud, and I'm working up higher. So I'm going to summon the energies of the sky to help me perhaps lighten the rain by using a gust of wind.
This is amazing. This sounds like you are using magic.
Indeed.
Oh, beautiful. Okay, guys, magic in Moonlight on Roseville Beach is extremely dangerous. It's exceptionally volatile. And something that we didn't touch on, we're in a queer normative place. What we're not in is a supernatural normative place. Just as a note to the viewer. So.
And the players.
Welcome to Roseville Beach. Okay, yeah. So magic is almost always risky. I am not going to go through all these prompts with you. I'm going to trust you, but you go ahead and roll your number of D6s.
Okay.
If you're not scared in any way, that gives you a bonus. If your origin story is witch familiar, blah, 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 I will let you count all of those up yourself.
Yep. I believe I have 4 for my word of power, my having sorcery, my being a witch, and not being scared.
Okay, let's roll that beautiful being footage.
So it's top result?
It's top result. You got it.
Is a 5.
5+. You do not lose control of your magic working. Please take narrative and tell us what this looks like.
There is a wind that comes from the northeast, and it blows enough so that, you know how sometimes there's a drying wind in the middle of a storm?
Yes.
That's what this is. And
yes.
It even is long enough that the ground itself, there is a little bit of that drying feeling, and who knows where it comes from. It could be like, it's from somewhere else in the world, because it is a weirdly warm wind and dry. Yeah. So who knows what it brings with it, but I know that it brings maybe a little bit of relief as the sky dries and there's just a little respite from the rain while Peter and I work on getting these bags in.
Please roll me a D6 quick roll.
Yeah. It's a 2.
I like this. Things go poorly. You turn your back to Peter and you use your word of power.
Yeah.
And just for a moment, the skies open, the wind settles, and it's just like, you've gotten really good at this, by the way, Daniel. I mean, that had to have taken a lot of practice to get this good at it.
Yeah.
You have some reprieve. For as long as this holds, it's not so torturous. And you turn around, and Peter is staring at you. You've been looked at like this before. There's this hollow vacancy that's on Peter's face, complemented with confusion. And that expression, and it hurts every single time you have to come face to face with it. It's that expression of someone looking at you and recognizing you as other. And then he can't make eye contact with you anymore. His eyes lower, and he just silently loads up the rest of your things. He puts them on the cart, and he pushes them into the warehouse.
Okay, thanks very much, Peter. I hope that maybe we'll see you later. I appreciate your help. I really do.
Peter manages to look up at you. You didn't realize how long his eyelashes were before until now.
Oh, don't.
But he looks up to you from under these long eyelashes. And Daniel, he's scared. And he nods. And he moves to the corner of the room. He turns on the coffee pot. And then he leaves. And the last thing you're going to hear is the door latching where he goes into the office and he puts up a barrier between you and him.
Ugh. I walk away. I scoff. I guess I can't walk away. All my stuff is here. So I find a corner that is dark in the warehouse, awkwardly standing there, looking around, knowing that I'm not really probably even supposed to be here and I have no allies now. So... And I just repeat to myself, you are the fairest of them all. You are the fairest of them all. You are.
You are the fairest of them all. Was that something Boris used to say, or is that something you came up with on your own?
Something I saw in a movie later, but but Boris says it all the time.
You are the fairest of them all. Visa.
Yes.
By the time that you arrive, the skies seem to have settled a bit. You're getting some reprieve from this bullshit experience that you have had getting here. Julie, which she reintroduces her wife Eliza. They help you get settled. You're almost positive that you probably have like one of their bra and panties mixed in with your stuff. And you're almost positive that like they have some of your shit mixed in with their shit. Like you, it's one of those things you guys can come to some type of arrangement. Like, hey, let's go get drinks on whatever day. We'll find a bar. They live on the island. They'll tell you somewhere to go. And like just in case some of our stuff got mixed up, you can like you can see like the red piece of a lace panty like hanging out of the closed sandwich lid. And Eliza's just like, at this point, I don't even it's. For a moment, there is a break in this terrible weather, and something is funny. And maybe you've made a couple of friends. If nothing else, two people on this island. Eliza, Julie, and they are willing to have drinks with you. And it sounds like they're buying. And that's a win, too.
That's relief after all of this.
That is a relief after all of this. Yeah. Yeah. They seem fun. They've only been married all of a month. You can already tell, they're going to be that couple. They're going to be just like that for years. Sometimes you strike gold. What are you
my
doing?
Aunt Eunice and Richard were like that.
Yeah, just that perpetually in love. Something supernatural about it. Ugh.
Something
what are you doing
fortunate
next?
About it. Gathering of what I can and muscling up the bags, and I am starting to trudge up the port towards the town to try and find this bar or the tops, because I figure, especially with all the storms and so forth, it's close to 2 o'clock when we get here. So
for sure.
I want to get there and get someplace dry. Yes. I am just drenched. It is drenched all the way. That wave just covered everything. My clothes are absolutely soaked. This wind, this dry place wind is great, but it's just this. I am soaked. I am cold. I am tired. It's even starting to hurt just a little, just to move.
Oh, I know that feeling.
From how cold this is.
Yes. Okay. You're able to debark, and you're looking at Roseville Beach, this town. There are buildings and manors and bungalows and small businesses, but nothing. This isn't like one of those places that it's catching up with the times. There's moments when you're looking around, you feel like this is going backwards in times, into the 60s, into the 50s. But you get that with island towns. They don't have the resources that the mainland has. Everything is just a little bit more behind on the times. But you get this glimpse of if the weather were beautiful and if it were summer, this would be awesome. But right now, trucking your shit through wet sand is painful. You can feel it in your hamstring, and your calves are screaming. at you right now. Now, Eliza did tell you, like, okay, sweetie, this is Harbor. You're going to take Harbor all the way up. And on the third block on your left, that's where Tops is. It is a beachfront bar. They play the music too fucking loud. And then immediately Julie's like, honey, you don't have to, like, no, it's ridiculous. They play the music so loud. You can't even. And then they start getting into their own little thing. And they wind up separating and going down another street, Queens Avenue. And they tell you just head straight up Harbor. It'll be, a third block on your left-hand side. You'll see Tops. You can't miss the sign. It has a massive exclamation point on it in neon, which is so, and they're already back onto something new about aesthetics.
Safe travels. I'll see you later. As I trudge onward, it's like, just get someplace. Oh, a hot cocoa would be nice right now. Just something warm. Oh, this is so not California.
This is not California. And whatever this is some bullshit. I will tell you that I'm upset for you right now. You make your way up and you find yourself at Tops. Single story, massive open floor plan that they haven't bothered to cover up but 3 sides of it with like the pull down bamboo sheeting, which is not doing well. It is flapping and breezing. It's already come out of its stakes on the ground. But inside, you can see that there's a wraparound bar. There's some seating. Most of the chairs and things have been like roped down, and the music is blaring at like a volume of 12, where it should be sitting at 9. Because actually, it should be sitting at a 6. Really, it shouldn't be playing at all. Because other than one bartender at the bar, Beezy, you're the only person in this entire establishment. Where is everybody? Oh, it's off season.
And this weather. I wouldn't want to be in this bar either. But I have to be to find my home.
And here we go.
As I trudge in, quickly surveying for someplace as far away from the tarps as possible, in a corner where stuff can be secured. I am marching over there, setting my stuff down, going up to the bar and saying, please tell me you've got something warm. I'll take tea. I'll just take any hot water if it needs to be. I just need something warm.
I love this. Chad, who's at the bar right now? And then Perry, please roll me a 2d6 and give me the sum for your NPC reaction. Let's see how your NPC is doing today.
Oh, who's at the bar? Indeed.
I got a 5.
Just so you know, they are annoyed and potentially hostile.
Okay. The annoyed and potentially hostile crowd at Tops. Tops? Or at...
Tops, yeah.
Tops.
Yeah, no, give me the physical description of who we see behind the bar working.
Yes. Oh, behind the bar. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, I see. I thought you meant the customers there. Okay.
Oh, you're good. The only customer here is Biza.
Yes. Okay. So the bartender.
Yeah.
Is bearded and hairy.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Large mammal. Big kind of like sailor beard. Could be on the package of a frozen cod dinner.
The weather has made every NPC hostile and drenched. And they look at you, Biza. And right now they are completely topless. So you're getting a full canvas of the tapestry that is the hair over their entire body and the beard. It looks like they are working on a belly that is coming in pretty well right now. Probably a beer belly of some sort. The shorts are hanging a little too low, and it's way too cold for this person not to have a top on. It is what it is, but they look at you. I have tea.
Perfect. Wonderful. I'll take that.
Go sit over there with the rest of your stuff. Annie will be here soon.
Look, thank you. And I might say, those look quite nice. And I will turn,
That's so
and
good.
I'm pointing at the probably very erect, cold nipples that are pointing at me amongst that fur of hair. And then I will turn and walk over and sit down.
You hear them mumble something about the disrespect. How dare he? I hate these people that Annie brings in. And then he disappears into the bar. Congratulations on rolling annoyed and potentially hostile. and you wait as you watch the rain sheet down through the one open pavilion.
And as the puddle of where I'm sitting, the puddle of all the water that's slowly dripping off me just grows under my feet.
Yeah. Poor thing.
And chair. And you see me pull out the afro pick, and it just slowly trying to put my fro back into shape. Even though that's waterlogged.
Oh man, yeah, you're splashing water everywhere. Oh, to your point, the puddle at your feet grows. As this individual, which you don't have their name, is coming out with almost like a knitted glove and a stainless steel, almost like small kettle, whatever his situation is, or their situation is that they're cooking back there. This is about the time that Daniel finally walks in. It took you some time, babe. You got here around 10. Somehow the gentleman that landed at noon is already here, but you had a whole situation in the warehouse. And as soon as you walk in, this gentleman looks at you. It's like, she'll be here soon. And he walks by you.
Strike 2, Roseville.
And it looks like he's taking tea to some individual that is picking out their hair.
Oh my God, is that tea? Oh, is that, could I just one more? Hi. Could I have one more tea? Just to put in the order now?
If you wag that finger at me one more time, your kettle of tea is gonna come with a and then they stop.
Oh, wait. Do you have cocoa?
I'm gonna kill everybody.
Everybody dies. TPK.
Everyone, great game, guys! Yay! Daniel, you can see that vein lifting.
Oh,
just off of their throat. You can see that vein lifting right on the side of their face, and you're almost positive. You can see the red blood veins in your eyes get a little too red, a little too fast.
The tea is great. Thank you so much for the tea.
And he turns. Roll me a d6. Roll me a quick roll.
That's a 3.
Okay. Everything's fine.
Hostile and potentially murderous.
And murderous. Mixed results. This is good. I like mixed results for you.
I'll take mixed.
They continue forward. They put this kettle down in front of Biza. And they reach around with their opposite hand and grab the handle of the kettle, and they pour the first cup of tea. They put the kettle down. They glare at you, and they walk back into the kitchen.
Thank you.
They don't respond. Daniel, they brought out that kettle with a mitt, but when they picked up that kettle to pour the tea, they weren't wearing a mitt. And it doesn't appear that the heat off of this metal kettle bothered their hand at all.
Oh.
At all.
Noted.
A few moments later, a new kettle is going to come out for you.
Yeah, I quickly wrap my hands around this cup as I hold close to my just.
I have one of my bags that let's say I have 9, and so 8 are still back in the warehouse. I've only made one trip by myself with no help.
Okay.
So I'm gonna drag myself into this open area and just kind of look around. Nobody's here. Maybe do one of those sit like in the table next to. Sorry,
No,
Perry.
you're next to Biza?
Yeah, Biza.
Biza, are you at one of like the tall bars with the low stools, or are you sitting at like a regular table? What's your seating situation over here in the corner?
Regular table as far away from the open area as possible. No, I want to be nowhere near an open door or a draft because I am
Okay.
Open
freezing.
4-seater table with tables around him. Yeah.
I'm looking for vibes. I'm looking for eye contact, like permission to be closer or ask questions. Hey, how's it going?
Oh, hi.
Hi. I see
I'm
you got
guessing
caught
you're-
in it
from what-
too. Yeah.
Yeah, I heard him say she'd be here. I'm guessing you're for Annie too?
Oh, you're waiting for Annie. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I quickly put my hands back around this warm mug. Yeah, please take a seat. Although
Oh, great.
I suggest you
Thank
want to sit over there
so
as
much.
I'm kind of soaking.
Oh, look, me too, right? It's that kind of day. So don't worry about that at all. So I will pull up a seat, and keep my pant legs dry. Just pull them up a little bit, and have a seat. I hope. What is going on with that guy?
Whatever, a bad mood. I don't blame him. I'd rather be inside. I wouldn't want to be here either. But
Fair enough.
although he's not too happy about, I guess Annie's brought more people in. And I'm guessing this is not the usual time of year for us, so we're probably adding extra. But
I think we know
either way,
why.
it's just I'm just glad to have this right at the moment.
It's so chilled. I am so chilled all the way to my marrow. It's awful. I hope that tea comes soon and hot.
I'm just going to look him up to. It's like, you're not as wet as I am. So I don't know what you've been through, but it's just you've had a chance to dry and get more wet again.
Well, did you
I'm
get
just
all your
soaked.
bags? Because my bags are still at the dock. Basically.
Yeah, I got all my bags.
I'll tell you, Annie described this place as friendly, and I'm going to say right now, not as advertised. You know? How has your reception been?
I'm just going to blame it on the weather. Right now, just...
Well, I hope it lives.
Oh, so nice.
Rhea. You've emerged from the cave of hugs, the hugging cave. You've had your moment where you remember Cassie. Everything's going to be okay. You don't have much, but you don't need much. You're self-sufficient that way. Sometimes. Most times. You were made to believe that you weren't, though. Those were pretty hard times. But you're here now. And this is going to be a fresh start. What do you do?
I try to find someone to give me directions to Tops because I don't know where I'm going, and I didn't have anybody to run into on a ferry helpfully or anything. So I'm going to stop in at a local small business that might be open or anything along the way. I mean, keeping in mind that I'm just in this silvery gray bodysuit and shoeless, so just walking around.
Whoa.
Yes. Mix, give me a 2d6 and let me know the sum. Will you have a friendly NPC or will the
Probably
streak continue?
not, considering the way this is going. That's a 9.
That's better than what everyone else has had. Okay. You are moving across the beach through with bare feet. There was a break in the weather, which was really interesting, but it didn't feel like a natural occurrence as much as it felt like somebody put a bit into the weather's mouth and yanked it into submission. Nice. And it's very angry about it because something took something from it and now it's trying to be silenced. And as soon as it figures out a way to get this bit out of its mouth, it's going to be a very interesting week on Rose Island. But as you are moving through the sand and you look up, there's the lifeguard tower that's painted white and has the chipped woods on it. And the umbrella on the top of it is gone. You saw that thing fly off a good 40 minutes ago before the weather died down. The cushions looks like it's wrapped in, but there's the red and white, what are those things called? The life preserver? Still roped to the side. There are some sandbags around the corner. And as you move past it, you can see that there's someone underneath the standing tower. they're either sleeping in there or hanging out in there or chilling in there. But what does she look like, Perry? This person that's, with a 9, by the way. Generally willing to be helpful.
Oh, thank goodness.
Who is this?
Once.
Who is this woman that is like hanging out underneath this lifeguard tower?
She is, it's definitely rain apparel.
Okay.
But you can tell that it has been adorned to look as much tie-dye as possible.
Okay.
It seems very loose, very sheer, very inappropriate for this weather, but it seems providing some degree of protection. I mean, it's maybe like she took several old raincoats and multiple colors and put them together to make this outfit. And she's sort of standing there under the
tower.
Tower. The hood is just slightly back, as you can just see these masses and masses of gray curled hair and almost a weathered exterior on her face.
I absolutely love it. Now, I'm just curious because you didn't specify. Is this a young woman or an old woman? Is this a young woman that has like the bundle of gray, or is this an older woman?
Indeterminate, as she's wearing what look like these light blue sunglasses, the real small round ones. In this weather.
So, Rhea, that's what you see leaning on the inside of the wooden post, looking out at you. The first thought that hits you is, how long has that woman been there? Because that could be concerning depending on what they may or may not seen. And then you think, it's like, no, I'm okay. And as you are walking by, you catch your eyes behind these little blue sunglasses, which at this point has to be an aesthetic purpose, right? Where's the sun right now? It doesn't exist. At least she's dry. And you notice that she's locked eye contact with you, and she just gives you this almost like Cheshire cat grin. It just kind of like spreads across her lips.
Oh. Hi.
Hi. Good morning.
Yes, I suppose it's a bit hard to tell with the lack of sun and everything. I'm looking for a place called Tops.
Mm-hmm. It's a bar here in town.
So I've been led to believe.
I haven't seen you around before. You're new.
Yes, I'm just arrived this morning.
Welcome to Rose Island.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
What's your name, sweetie?
Rhea?
I'm Missy.
Pleasure to meet you, Missy. You're the first person I've seen on the island.
You'll see more of us, especially as the weather calms down a bit. It's been like this for almost a week.
I was told it would be sunny, so this is a little bit of a surprise.
Rains can be expected this time of year. This feels different somehow. You working here on the island?
Allegedly.
You're an Annie find.
Is that a bad thing?
No. It gets better and better.
Oh dear.
No. Sorry. That came off wrong. That's not what I meant. And she giggles. You're like, Annie's a good thing for Rose Island. She's a better thing for Roseville Beach. She has, well, I couldn't possibly say. It's not my place. And I don't like to gossip. And she begins to like twirl her fingers through these gray curly hairs, which doesn't feel as much flirtatious, seductive as it almost feels like a performance.
Well, you know I'm brand new and I don't know anybody here, and anything you could tell me can only help me settle in and adapt.
I want you to settle in. Then I want you to adapt. You look adaptable. As she like looks down your entire persona in this gray bodysuit situation.
And lack of shoes.
And lack of shoes.
I can be. In the right circumstances.
Come on. Follow me, little one. I'll take you to Tops. It's not far.
Appreciate it.
And she coils herself out from beneath the wooden bars, beneath this tower, and there's something interesting about the way she moves. If a scorpion were trying to inch its way out of a crate, it would move very similar to the way that she's moving now. And she finds her way out, and she looks you up and down once more. Come along. You can regale me with tales on what's happening on the mainland. Haven't been in so long. Years.
Oh, same old, same old. People poking at each other, starting fights. Some people trying to just get along. Things to run away from, things to run to.
So more of the same, unfortunately.
Don't think it ever changes, really. Just who is the only thing.
Well, I'll tell you this much. Adaptability. We're a lot of the same here on Rose Island, but you should know, just because we're a lot of the same doesn't mean that everyone here is your friend.
I don't assume anyone's a friend. Not anymore.
Smart move, young one. Come on, follow me. And she, Missy, will lead you down Ocean Drive. Just a couple blocks or so. And you're going to find yourself walking into Tops. She does not enter. She stops at the threshold. I'll see you around.
Stay dry.
And she's on her way to say something slick back to that comment. And she just gives you another one of those smiles that cuts across her face. Her lips pull a little bit too far at the corners. Her teeth are stunning. You haven't seen teeth that white in a long time. We're not going to talk about the fact that they look edged. That might just be a genetic thing, right? Maybe. She doesn't seem to have a problem showing them to you. And she winks. Then she turns. And she heads off. And you walk in and you see two individuals drinking tea, cuddling together at a table. And there are trunks and bags and duffel bags and briefcases. And you kind of immediately put together, it's like, it's probably my sweet mates.
So I'll amble up to them, like getting an eye on my surroundings, and then make my way over there. So just kind of casually, like there's nothing strange about walking in barefoot, coming out of this terrible weather and everything.
And gentlemen, you see this individual walking up on you. You see her.
Welcome to the drying hut.
The Annie table, I'm assuming. Pull up a chair.
Please have a seat. If you're lucky, you might get some tea. We haven't had a lot of luck with our bartender being around, but we'll see. Now, wait a minute. Are you... So, you are you Bisa and you are Rhea?
Yeah,
That's
I'm Biza.
correct.
Oh, so are we... Didn't Annie say that... I'm Daniel. And so, didn't Annie say that we would be rooming together?
Yes. Roommates,
Yeah.
not roommates.
Okay.
Maybe sharing the house.
I just got
Bungalow, they
that.
call it here.
Yes. And is it just us? Do you know?
As far as I know.
Yeah. Well, looks like we'll have an interesting summer together.
Or winter at this rate.
September.
I know. I hope it turns. I really hope it turns.
Rhea kind of scratches their head. It's September, so I don't know about summer, but
Oh, it's yes. I just had a little time travel in my tiny little head, so yeah. I'm back. Hi.
I can tell this is going to be a wonderful experience.
Back home, it's pretty much summer most of the year. Except once it gets towards actual winter and then it's temperature up, but we usually have pretty great weather the rest of the time.
Well, I'm from Boston, and we get this all year round. You never know. You never know when it's going to turn, so we'll see. We can only get better, though. That's something.
We hope.
Who's? Did you hear
Where's
that?
come from?
I am still here just trying to get warm. I mean, the tea's narrate, but it's like, I want to get out of these clothes to some dry ones. If I actually have any dry ones left, and I look over at my bags,
Soaked, water's running out of it.
You might notice that Rhea sat down at the table, but I've pulled my chair back a little bit, and my body language is very closed off. Like, not closed off as in warming up from the cold, but just knees are close together, hands in the lap, shoulders are kind of tight, just very, very closed off and not opening up the way Daniel appears to be. Doesn't seem cold, though, either.
About that time, you hear metal crashing on metal somewhere from the kitchen. It's loud and it's deliberate. This doesn't sound like something was dropped as much as maybe something was thrown. And you hear this bellowing, angry voice yell out something, and then it gets very, very quiet.
and I think that was the bartender. I am not going back there. Even though he was cute.
He's a hairy mess.
They're great to stay warm with.
I suppose, but the attitude won't.
At that point, you hear another yell, but it sounds more feral, sounds more like a growl than anything else, like almost like a canine or a feral growl. The back swinging door that leads into the kitchen area from behind the bar abruptly swings out, and you see a petite, she looks maybe African American, but there are certain things about the designation of her cheekbones and the way that her chin narrows in, her height, and then also just like her build and the fact that her hair is straight and black, that you're like, oh, but you might be mixed with something else here. Immediately runs from the other side, shuts the door behind her, and something crashes onto the backside of it. It looks like a pot of something was thrown. You can see the liquid of whatever, maybe some type of chili or pork, something is like eking down the inside of the glass. You can hear the pot shatter onto the ground, and you can see this woman here. She is dressed in a sundress that is stapled to a very gorgeous figure right now because of the rain, probably revealing a little bit more than it should be, but we are where we are. She's in sandals, and she has a lot of very what has to be local jewelry, seashell earrings, the beaded rock necklaces. Her hair is pulled back into a high ponytail, and she's just on the back of the door, or facing you guys. So her back is to the door, and she's just taking a breath, and she looks at the three of you guys, and she just kind of gives you the just hold on for a second. And there's another growl from somewhere in the kitchen, and then suddenly it is a cascade of pots, pans, and things hitting the ground. And she's just there with her back against the door. She doesn't look bothered at all. She doesn't look alert. She doesn't look necessarily bothered. And she's just like, as things are crashing in the background.
I'm going to look at this. I'm going to look over at this clearly Blasian woman and say, I'm Annie?
Yeah, hold on. Just give me a quick second. Another pot falls. There's like this hiss of like some type of a flame going off in the background, and she's just at the door, just like, give me a second, one more second, hold on, give me a second, just a second. And then there's one more growl before things get quiet.
I'm too much of a busybody not to check this out. So, what is there a window? It's like an opening, like a kitchen opening.
I will 100% give you that. It's like one of the
Sure.
windows where like the servers will put the chef will put the
Yes.
servers. Yeah, there's absolutely a window there. Yeah.
Yeah. Prairie dog. What do I see?
Daniel, what you see is something that you've never seen before, but you've heard of it. You've heard of whatever it is that you're looking at right now because Jane Walcott used to tell stories of shifters that could turn into beasts.
Oh.
This hairy man child situation right now is covered in long, splotchy, rich brown hair with an elongated snout and teeth that are dropping and eyes that are yellow. And it is just running back and forth in this kitchen, tearing things down, hopping up on a bipedal leg, slamming pots to the ground, and then spinning out. But it all seems to be contained. You are looking at, undeniably for your very first time, a werewolf. There is something else on this island that's like you, but not like you, but like you. And it's literally frenzying out right now.
Wow. Just wow.
He's incredible, isn't he? Incredible, isn't he?
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Don't let him see you. Don't let him see you.
Okay.
Just give him a second. Just a second.
Oh, Annie is saying that.
This is Annie saying this to you. Yeah. Because I imagine like you're both behind the bar and she's just back against the swinging door and you're looking over like the server's window.
I am very well planted in my seat. I am not getting up near that.
I've backed my chair up against the wall, kind of flinched a couple times, and now I've got my hand up so that I can't look over in that direction, just sort of automatically, looking down at the floor.
Yeah.
Does he need help?
No. He's okay. He's good. Okay. He's okay. Who ordered the tea first? The tea first?
I did.
Oh, okay. Yeah, you should stay there. Stay there.
I just need something warm after that.
Oh, I know.
Trip
I
in.
know. You're okay,
Yeah, I was-
sweetie.
I was going to ask about a space heater. Is that?
Mm,
No. Okay.
mm-mm,
Okay.
mm-mm, mm-mm.
Okay.
Hey, while you're there, are the hackles still up?
Are they?
Yeah, you peek over and the hackles are actually coming down, and now it's just a brooding creature that is moving, like bulging shoulder blades ripping through flesh, and it's just kind of like not prancing, but crawling around the room. But the hackles are down.
We're at about a half hackle.
I can work with that.
Okay.
Okay, come on. And she pulls herself away from the door, and she goes and she reaches out a hand towards you.
I take it.
Hi, you're Daniel, correct? Daniel, correct?
Daniel. Yes. Yes.
That's perfect. Daniel, welcome to Roseville Beach. You've met your housemates?
I have. Yes, we have.
Good.
Yeah.
Come.
Okay.
And she will wander over to the rest of the group that is appropriately like, what the is going on? And she looks to you, Rhea, and she smiles, and she looks to you, Biza, and she smiles, and she says, is it okay if I sit?
Yeah. I'll gesture the fourth chair.
She doesn't sit. She looks at Rhea almost as if she's visually asking permission to do so.
Sure, please sit. Annie.
And she smiles and she nods and she just, okay. Hi. Welcome to Roseville Beach. I am really sorry about that situation, the situation there. He'll calm down. You've all met each other?
Yeah, we have.
Yeah, just in these last few minutes.
Okay. We usually do this at the house, but because we're all here together at this moment, I think it's important that we do this now. And also, I don't want to leave with Harry in the position that he's in. He needs to calm down. And I think it's important that we sit here with him through this moment. Okay?
Sure. Are we safe? It's okay? Yeah? Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
everything is okay. I don't know a polite way to say this, so I'm just going to be as open as I can with all of you right now. The three of you individuals are either supernatural or supernaturally inclined. And I can sense these type of things. In this weird network that I can tap into. And am I losing you already?
Yes.
Oh.
I have no idea what you're talking about whatsoever.
Okay. That's okay. I can help. And she cups her hands and she sets them in the center of the table, like she would be holding water. And something happens with the air between her hands. You can't see it as much as you can experience and acknowledge that the air is shifting. There's a slight luminosity there that glows very, very faintly, almost like a baby blue. And then this song begins to emit from her hands. And she looks up at the three of you, like, can you hear it?
Yes.
Do I hear it?
Yeah, you can hear it.
What's going on? Where's the music from?
Okay. Daniel, you know what you are. Yes.
I do. Do
And-
you?
Mm-hmm. Not particularly, not on all the specifics, but I have a way to know. I can feel it. I can sense it over time and over distance. It's a gift.
Daniel, is basking in being seen. Loves this.
Rhea, you can hear it, yeah?
Yeah, I can hear it. Yeah.
Okay, good. You know what you are. I know that you know. And it's okay.
Yes.
It's okay. I'm here to help you. I'll help you. And then she looks to you, Biza, and she says, "This is my soul song. You can hear it in my hand. No, you can hear it. Yes.
I don't know. I'm hearing something. I have no idea where it's coming from.
And she looks to you. She says, "You know where it's coming from. You can hear it in my hands. Just like I can hear it in your soul.
At which point, probably drops the cup because I have no idea what the fuck's going on. I'm just starting to have a nice quiet time on the other side of the country here. I want no trouble.
You're not in trouble. I think for the first time, you may actually be with a community that knows, and that will protect you. You just have to trust, okay?
Well, it'll be a lot easier once I can be dry and warm.
We'll get you to the bungalow soon. Okay. Biza, Rhea, Daniel, welcome to Roseville Beach. My name is Annie. I have a very particular set of skills, and a set of gifts. I can hear the soul of your soul. And it sounds so beautiful, so beautiful. So I brought you to me, so I can connect you with other people like you. Does that make sense? I have a hard time sometimes getting my thoughts together. I'm much better when I write.
It makes so much sense. So you're a witch, and you're a witch, and you're a witch, and we're all witches?
Huh?
Oh.
No. But I will explain that at the bungalow. As soon as Harry stops shifting.
How's that
Shifting?
going?
She looks over her shoulder. She looks to you, Daniel. And then she offers her hands to Biza. Follow me. Sometimes it
Okay.
helps if you see.
Okay. Take her hand.
And she guides you past the bar. She flips open the entry, and she walks you right to the viewing window where Daniel was just a moment ago. And you lock eyes with a bipedal canine creature with a gaping maw that's mouth is like breaking as bones crack and skin stretches, and it's being pushed back into his face as he just like opens up his chest, throws his neck back, and you can see fur melting into flesh, and you watch and witness and experience your first werewolf transition. And that is where we are going to end for tonight. We will catch you guys for episode 2. Mwah! Mwah, mwah, mwah. Kisses, kisses.